The Temihi Geothermal Power Project is the largest power project in New Zealand at the moment. It's very exciting to be involved in a project such as this. It's also a very innovative project. Lots of new technologies involved and more efficiency in this type of market. The project will eventually be replacing the existing Wairaki power station, which has been in operation for 52 years. It currently rejects undesirable chemicals into the river. There's a new environmental mandate, so we'll be cooling tower cooled, which is a much more environmentally efficient or effective way to cool. Contact Energy awarded us the project in December of 2010, and we've been working on it since then. The project is in the design phase right now. We've really just started construction. We moved into the earthworks activity in April of 2011. The primary focus of establishing the site was to control the sediment and erosion measures that are needed to protect the environment. And so that was the primary purpose of our earthworks. Also to establish access roads and platforms so we could put our site office in. So the work on the project started in the winter phase, and so it was a little bit difficult and challenging from a weather standpoint. We've managed to make good progress. The soil is actually very workable in the wintertime as well, and we're just about where we belong in terms of progress right now.
When we got here, it was just a green field that had been bought off a farmer. The fences were still standing, the grass was all here. So at this point in time, we've shifted approximately 200,000 cubic metres of dirt. There was an awful lot of hills, and we've levelled those off, and beyond that there's valleys which we are filling in with the spoil off the hills. The tip sites are at the far end of the project, which is approximately 1 kilometre from where the body of the earthworks is, so getting the material into the spoil areas has been quite an interesting exercise. We've got substantial haul roads which we have to maintain on a very, very regular basis, just a constant maintenance job. We're building our own access road at this stage. We're not quite to a point where we can run metal across our laydown area. I would imagine that within the next week or two we'll have our own access running up through the middle of the site. There's still an awful lot of earthworks to do on the project, but at this stage we think it's going extremely well.
The Temihi site's got quite variable soil in it. It's presented a number of geotechnical challenges to us, particularly with weak ash soils. In the area of the turbine halls, we were initially anticipating using driven piles throughout, considering the soil properties and difficulties a little bit more. We've actually changed to using a majority of bored piles, and then breaking the piles out to form a cap on a very thick foundation slab, which is 1200 millimetres thick. We'll be then constructing the main columns for supporting the turbine generator on its elevated pedestal. So it's a very, very substantial structure. The turbine and generators are very large. They're each several hundred tonnes. They will be producing approximately 83 megawatts gross each. After the steam passes through the turbine, it's condensed in the condenser at vacuum, and that fluid is then passed to the cooling towers, where about 80% of it will evaporate. The balance, though, is passed over to the steam field facilities, where it's re-injected back down into the resource. This avoids disposing of this chemically undesirable fluid to the natural waterways, and is a substantial environmental improvement on the original station design.
Huge effort's gone into over the last 3-4 months through some very difficult periods during winter. However, an important milestone starts next week on Monday. Our first piles will start going into the ground. The turbine hall, it's a big building, and there's approximately about 12,000 cubes of concrete to be placed over here over the next 6 months. With that, there's also cooling towers. There's about 1,000 cubes of concrete in the cooling towers as well, and they'll be starting in November this year as well. 2 very important milestones. The workforce is incredibly important to us. Currently we've got 40-odd people on site. That's going to grow 10 times over the next 6 months to over 400 people come March 2012. So people will be coming from all around New Zealand. We're bringing people from overseas as well. We've got basically the United Nations here helping us in this project.
So the project's going really well to date. We're very pleased with where we are in terms of site progress. The team has been working very well together as well. It's an interesting challenge to bring 3 partners together at any time. And the client relationship has been very good as well. Very open for an EPC contract, good communication. I really couldn't be more pleased with where we are.